Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. You are very
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back, the presidents of RMC and also the dean, Dr. Pablo, and also the host. We meet you again today for the second time, and also thank you very much for the MC and the moderator for introducing my name in this occasion. Let me share my PowerPoint with the title today. Right. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I would like to make the view into full screen. Yeah. Right. Thank you. Yes. Wait a minute. Okay. And this is the title that we have to discuss today: research and journal publication for global recognition. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, and also the participants, as the faculties, researchers, teachers, or lecturers in college or universities, it is unavoidable that we have to get in touch very much with research publication today, because one of the rank of our position in college to get a higher is also research publication. The point in Indonesia, for example, it is about 40%, and the other percent is for uh, other activities like teaching and also social services and so on and so forth. Yeah. Now, what I have to talk about, number one is we talked about DOAG development, directory open access journals development, in which any journal publication, at least one of the step is to be registered to DOAG. Otherwise, yeah, we are not recognized globally. The second one is Global Competitiveness Index. This is the measurements of measuring whether the country, including Philippines and Indonesia, yeah, is recognized or listed or calculated to become the one existing in the global recognition or not. And the next one is metrics and university ranking. That's the fact that we will know about this data and to make us aware of how we have to get together for collaboration and so on and so forth. And then next we have to talk about the concepts of successful collaboration. This is very important because if we do not have this kind of world view, then it is impossible we can get in touch with other people around the world. Then after that we know the possible collaboration that we have to do. And I would like to talk about a glance of UNUSA, Universitas Nahdlatul Ulama Surabaya Indonesia journal publication that I have already recognized. Now we come to the first one. So if we look at DOLJ, it is I got last night, yeah, because I want to know the recent data. So directory open access journal is the first time we have to register our journal in order it can be recognized globally. So if you have journal, research journal or academic journal in your college, try to register it in this directory open access journal. Otherwise, it cannot be indexed by the Google Scholar and so on and so forth. You can also register to directly to Google Scholar, and then other index like Asian Index. In Philippines, you have PEJ, Philippine Electronic Journal. My name is already listed there. Because I used to be in the Philippines very much, getting in touch with other people there before Indonesia has got the open access journal, especially the indexer. So if you look at this DOAG, we know there are journals that are printed in 80 languages, and it is also there are we can find the data 130 countries already represented in this DOAG, and I believe in the Philippines also some universities and their journal are already listed or registered. And if your university, the host, if you have a journal, then please try to register open in this directory. And the journal without APCS, APCS is article processing charge. Some of the journals having the charge of the fee for publication, but there are actually you can publish your journal in about 12,255 journal without paying the fee, without article processing charge here. And in Indonesia now, because there are a lot of journals that are already indexed, and therefore some of them you have to charge the authors for the fee for publication, and also in the Philippines also. But we have 12,255 journals that are ABCS, and the journal articles here there are about 17,000. So there are more than the APS, the APC, from or among 17,575. The 12,255 are free, and totally in the DOAG here there are about 7,437,956 articles published here. And I suppose my article also included in this, because some of my articles published in the online journal article in journal in Philippines and also in Indonesia. And this is the DOAG that we have to take care. Yeah? I hope if you have any journal, please try to be open on access journal, register. There are some you can open, and there are some ways or steps how to register. Usually in Indonesia it is about 3 to 6 months. Yeah, we are already accepted to be registered. Yeah, and therefore if you have not registered your journal, it is better for you to start from now, and then next 6 months it will be registered online, so that it can be indexed by some indexers. Yeah, you can also. Now, if we look at the DOAG since March 1914 here, I was amazed. Yeah, in 2008, 2009, there was no open access journal in Indonesia, very few, and therefore I went to visit the Philippines very often at the time. I got involved in journal publication, and even I published the journal in the Philippines. My name already listed in PEJ, Philippine Electronic Journal. Why? Because there was no publication in Indonesia that was already published in DOAG, only 1 or 2. But after that, I always wrote an article in media about how if we have an idea to have a kind of journals that are online and published and then registered to the ARJ, and if possible, we have to get we have to have a journal accreditation and index like in the Philippines, like PEG, so Philippine Electronic Journal. And then directly the government at the time started very enthusiastically, and now the fact Indonesia surpasses other countries. So in Indonesia, the registration, the blue color, and then the brown color, light brown color here is the registered. Already accepted and also passed the process of application. And India, followed by USA and Brazil, UK, and then Iran, Turkey, Spain, Portland, and Egypt. This is the development of DJuwari in Indonesia since 1914. But before that time, in 2009, in 2012, I was very active in Philippines. So my name is now registered in PEG, Philippine Electronic Journal. That is so funny. But after that, Indonesia, with the governments and the Minister of Education and Technology at the time, he was very enthusiastic to let the universities and the faculties publish their articles, and also having a publication of a journal, not only the article, but also started to publish an online journal. This is the development. Ladies and gentlemen, if we look at the development of DOAG, DOAG, in Indonesia there were about 16,000, with the IISS and research journals in 2016. And up to this year, at that time, 17. Last night I tried to browse in 2022, but I couldn't find. But this is the result that I got from. Only I got the data up to the 1917, and I expect and I guess that it will be more than this. So there have been a 931 DOAG registered research journal, as recommended by the Minister of Research. This I got last night, but I tried to find out the data of 2020. I couldn't find it. Yes, but this is a glance. Ladies and gentlemen, after we talk about the journals, DOAG, and so on and so forth, now let's go to talk about Global Competitiveness Index, or GCI. So the 12 pillars as the Global Competitiveness Index, GCI, has stipulated for the nation prosperity. And these 12 pillars are grouped into the 3 key indexes, such as basic requirements sub-index, efficiency enhancers sub-index, and innovation and sophistication sub-index. After knowing this, we have to work very hard for getting our own profession to do well, because we cannot do all of this index because we are only the lecturers or faculties. Now look at this. The Global Competitive Index, any country, any nation, is measured by using this one. So if we talk about the first criteria, basic requirement sub-index, here, institution, and then infrastructure, macroeconomic, environment, health, and primary education. Among these, I think for me, I cannot do that. And it should be the other institution or the government or sectors that are involved in this very much. But the second one, efficiency enhancer sub-index. Number 5 is higher education and training. And this is our point, our job, our field, where we are now doing like what we are doing now for collaboration of international conference and also discussing the topic about this. And goodness market efficiency, it is out of our job. Labor market efficiency, it is also out of our job. And number 9, technological readiness. we are now in the era of technology and information. Even though our background of education is not in technology, now like you and me, for example, in education or education, for example, field, but we have to get this number 9. And also number 12, innovation. What do we have to do in innovation in education related to our profession as a lecturer or faculties is how to get in touch with the development of technology, like now what we are doing using Zoom and so on, but there are many that we do not know yet. For example, yeah, I think when we learn about technology related to education, then we still have many others. But this is one of the example. You can talk with me even though we don't have to have face-to-face mode, but however we can still discuss and go for improving our knowledge and sharing experiences here. So this is the global competitiveness index. After this, we can look at the globally in the world. If you look at the vapor matrix, the world ranking still dominated by the Western countries. The Western countries, yeah. This I just got the screenshot here last night because I cannot screenshot into 100 too much limited time at the last night. I tried to find out. So if we look at this vapor matrix, mostly none of the Asian countries. This is, look at this, Harvard, Stanford, Massachusetts, University of California, Oxford, and so on and so forth, New York, blah blah blah, and so on. No Asian countries. But how about if we look at the scale of Asia? Even Asia, only Singapore. If you look at this, National University of Singapore, Shanghai. No. This is the Asian country. So no Philippines nor Indonesia. No problem. But this is the fact. Why? Because infrastructure of the technology and also the development of science here, we still have to keep to catch up the countries with this Asia, like Singapore and so on. So Singapore is in ASEAN, and this is one of the university that can be listed if we look at the rank of Asia scale here. Now, ladies and gentlemen and the participants, I always presented this in any session, not only in this session. Why? Why? Because I have eyewitness so far. There have been many MOUs signed. Even this is But after signing, few years later, there is a follow-up. Even follow-up, not the development, but even the follow-up. But if we talk about collaboration, I have this concept. Now let's talk about top-down collaboration. Universal core values, for example, research, exchange program, journal publication. This is the universal value. What is meant by universal value is that we can share together. There is nothing, typical that owned by a certain university or certain nation, and that is not, there in other nation. Anybody has any nation has the universal core values. Research. I think if we work as a profession of lab faculty or researchers, everybody has the goal and objective, have of vision, have any objective to do research, exchange program, and so on. Now we top down here. We talk about that universal value. Never talk about something that is very typical, especially something that is very sensitive. Except if we try to be tolerant. accept, yeah. Vision and mission. And therefore, vision and mission is very important. We have to underline. For example, if you want to collaborate with a certain university in other country, look at the vision and mission that is stated in the website. What is the mission? After understanding, we try to synergize it, to do a synergizing. What is meant by synergizing? Try to find out the values that can be set together. Yeah, can be set together. Why the individual, the specific one, can be highlighted for appreciation, but not for doing for together, for making the goal to make the result that we can set together. Then try to find out the universities. Which one is the universities having the vision that we can share together, and we do the synergizing. If we do not do this, it is impossible for us after signing the MOU, then we never done the follow-up. Even not alone, let alone the development, even the follow-up. Yeah, I have eyewitnesses and signature of the MOUs, but there is no follow-up. Yeah. Now, or you can talk about bottom up. We can find the university first. We do not know exactly. But after we know about the universities, and then we discuss to have a meeting and so on and so forth. Try to find out the vision and synergizing and talking about the values that are that can be shared together. This is the opposite of that time. I proposed this the model here in 2015 in Singapore when there was Asia Summit, and also in the United States of America when I was invited as the guest lecturer in the American University of Southern Nations at the time in 2016. Yeah. And crystallization of some universal values for the success of collaboration. We know we have to learn about psychological aspect of a certain universities in a certain country. We also have to know economic system. Why we have to know about this? Yeah, we can learn from the Wikipedia and so on. In order we know the development of economy, and you know the condition of financial and so on and so forth, and we talk about this. We learn, not talk. We learn about this, and then educational, educational system. This is very important if you want to talk about the collaboration related to teaching and cultural exchange related to education, and then also the cultural aspect. If we know all this in any country that we are going to have a collaboration, I believe you will have the next step of the crystallization of the values. For example, research exchange program, journal publication, and so on and so forth. Wait a minute, I cannot. Okay, so from that kind of concept, then there are some possible collaboration. We can also do teacher exchange, yeah, among us, between the university or colleges from different countries. Student exchange, research journal publication. For example, exchanging research article publication. Sorry, this is the misspelling. Cultural exchange, for example, for mutual understanding. Yeah, and then double degree by converging the curriculum. This is need time. Yeah, need time, especially the top managers, the president and the vice president should meet together and then try to convert the curriculum, and we have a double degree. For example, RMC and my UNUSA University, for example, have to convert the curriculum of English department or education or anything, and then we try to make a class program, for example. Yeah, this is the example. Ladies and gentlemen, so far we have been, made busy with writing research and publish them into Scopus. And in fact, Scopus is not easy for us, because if the Scopus journal that is free, it will take about 1 or even 2 years for process of application. But there are some, especially Scopus, that also need the fee, payment, and this is the problem for the universities, and especially in these more developing countries. To pay that is very expensive, in my opinion. I know about this some, even though there are some that are free, but those who are free here need times. And in Indonesia we have Cinta, and in Philippines we have PEG, and in ASEAN we have ASEAN Index Citation. Now I just want to compare Scopus and Cinta in Indonesia. You can also register into Cinta for index. So publisher here is Elsevier, but in Indonesia it is Indonesian publication. And then the database, e-journal, and then we have also Indonesian publication. And the accreditation, we have CSAB, that is the publisher, and the accreditation in Indonesia we call Arjuna. So we have accreditation Arjuna. In Philippines we have PEJ, Philippine Electronic Journal, and Scopus, the name of the indexer, and we have the name of Cinta. In Philippines we have PEJ, and this is the different actually. And in Indonesia this is the process journal of electronics that is still active, 7,000, and journal that is registered in Arjuna index, 1,807, and then that is already accredited only 550. You can also register to this, to Google Scholar, to DOAJ, and Philippine Electronic Journal, and Scopus. Scopus is very hard process, and this is the ranking. If we talk about Scopus, there are 4: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. But in Indonesia there are Cinta 1, Cinta 2, Cinta 3 until Cinta 6 here. Scopus there are Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. I don't know in Philippines whether there are also rank like this here. And the score is like this. And Scopus also we have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the UNUSA. There are 15. There are 15 journal, but I just got only in last night in internet. This is some of the example of UNUSA and its journal publication. And if you have, and then other participant universities in this conference also have the research journal, we can also collaborate, for example, by exchanging article for publication. But in Indonesia, there are some APS, article processing cost for fee. And in Philippines also, there are some of the journal that we have to pay for the fee. I think that's all. Thank you very much, and I hope everything can be as the input for sharing the experience, how to make the collaboration. Number one is that we have to know the vision and mission of the university that we are going to have for cooperation, and try to share the universal values, and try to get the kind of collaboration based on the universal values. Thank you. I have to stop sharing. Sorry, I have to stop sharing. And thank you, the MC and moderator.
Okay. Thank you very much to our plenary speaker for today, Dr. Juwari, an English Department Faculty of Education, Universitas Nadiatul Ulama Surabaya in Indonesia. Thank you very much, Doc, on the research and journal publication for global recognition. It is always indeed that this research and development has this pivotal role in the utilization on your research information today, Doc Juwari, and I'm always certain that it will always be an opportunity and a chance for an excellence exchange of knowledge. And by then, we open the virtual floor for our open forum that at this time they can articulate on their thinking, that they can think of innovative solutions with the help of our expert, Dr. Juwari in Indonesia.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome, Doc. So we're waiting now, so you may raise your virtual hand or you can have our chat box. Okay, thank you very much. Now we recognize Mr. John Michael Suryaga. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning to Dr. Juwari.
Good
I
morning.
have here, yes, good morning, sir. I have here two questions. The first question is, what do you think is the real root cause why Philippines and Indonesia are not so engrossed in journal publications? Okay, that is my number one question. Number two is, what is the best way to do to be part of the world rank in terms of journal publications?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for the question. Yes. So how to get in touch with the publication and how to publish the articles and also how to get involved in the journal publication. Right. All of the articles, because the name is academic or research journals, the first step is that we have to do the research. And after doing the research, yeah, there are some of the training, yeah, not all of the thesis or dissertation, yeah, are publishable before they are transferred into or converted into articles. First of all, find the any journal and then read the guideline, because any journal has their own guidelines. Every journal has their own guideline. Therefore, it is very unique. Yeah. Sometimes when I publish on my article in the Philippines, even in the same country but different publisher, they have their own guidelines. We call it in-house style. Yeah. And first of all, we have to follow this. Otherwise, we will be rejected because of the different guidelines. Yeah. Or it will be sent back and then giving the suggestion to convert into the format of the guidelines stipulated of any journal. This is to how to publish. Even in Indonesia and in the Philippines, we have different guidelines, for example. And after doing the research here, we have to know how to convert the thesis or dissertation into publishable articles. And I have been the reviewer for about 32 years. Yeah. The reviewer of the editor also. Mostly of the researchers, for example, when giving the name of the table, usually still the same as table 1, 2, meaning that the table is in the introduction in chapter 1, and then table 2.1, 2.2, meaning that this table here is in the chapter 2 of the research thesis or dissertation. And also table 3.1, table 3.2, meaning that the table here are taken from chapter 3. this is very complicated for the editors and also the reviewers. Mostly the tables here are named from the beginning, table 1, table 2, table 3, without the name of the chapter. And this is one of the very common in the beginning. And the next one is that sometime of the research of the authors here, after having cited all of the previous journals articles, they tend to leave them what they are. There is no interpretation, there is no analysis, there is no synthesis, and this is also very weak, even though some of the journals here accepted this kind of article. But in my opinion, I have already presented last year in this forum, the same forum in RMC here, your university last year. Yeah, that is the way how to write the original article. And how about to publish and then also the journal? I think in your university, especially those here, also got the journal research journal, but I'm not sure whether it is already registered in the DOAJ and also indexed by Google Scholar, for example, that is free, or you can also register to Crossref. The Crossref you need also the fee every year. Annual fee is about $100. Yeah, and then you can also register your journal to the DOAJ. If you do not register it, then it is not recognized by globally by the authors around the world, and mostly the authors do not want to publish the article that is not registered in DOAJ or indexed by Google Scholar, for example, for the time being, Google Scholar, because anyone now is measured by using Google Scholar. We have to get our account. I have my account even. Yeah. That is, you also have to create your Google account, and then in which it is Google account, you have your name and your designation of your university with listed article that is already recognized globally by the DOAJ and Google Scholars. Yeah. If your article that is published in a journal that is not in DOAJ or not online, then it cannot be found out or searched, and it is therefore we have to do it by doing that. That is all. Thank you very much. Too long for my answer. Thank you, Dr. Suryaga. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Juwari and Mr. John Michael Suryaga. Okay, thank you. Wow. Sir John Michael is always with us and very productive in the engagement when it comes to our open forum. Thank you, Sir Michael. And now checking in our chat box for more questions. Okay, so someone said, thank you for sharing your insights about research linkages. I would question how students of bachelor degrees, graduates, those interested in getting masters or doctors, and participants of this conference can collaborate besides attending this event by actually helping find institutions that research and want to publish journals in index databases. Did you get it, Dr. Juwari, or I'll read this back to you?
No, but I have to read.
Or chat box.
So I would like to question how student of bachelor degree graduate or those interested in getting. Yes, yeah. Yeah. Now in Indonesia, the even undergraduate and master and for example doctor cannot graduate even though they have finished their thesis or dissertation. If they have finished, they cannot graduate. They cannot be. They cannot defend for the exam if they have not published their article. And this is the handicap not only in your country but in my country. I don't know whether in the Philippines is also in that way the same. In Indonesia, for a master degree, for example, we cannot graduate even though our thesis already finished, and we cannot be examined or defend our thesis if we have not published the article in a journal in national accredited for master degree. But for dissertation doctoral degree, it should be in Scopus. You know, Scopus is very hard. Yeah, very hard. Oh my God. Yeah, in Scopus is very hard. For doctoral degree in Indonesia, even though we have finished our dissertation, and even we have already in analyzing and paper, everything is finished, but we cannot defend. There is no examination. There is no, formal statement that we have finished our doctor if we have not yet published the article in the Scopus. This is also hard in Indonesia. And therefore now Scopus is the prevailing topic not only in Indonesia but around the world. Yeah, even in some of my friends in the Philippines also talking about this in the messenger group here. Dr. Juwari, this is about the problem of our college here and also the faculties, because we are now recommended by the government to publish our and also for the accreditation also and the research. And this is also. So how, number one is that try to find out in your country and please discuss this topic. I think we have Dr. Randia from the set, from the set. Dr. Randi, please discuss this. For master degree, for example, it can also be in the national journal rather than Scopus, and also doctoral degree. Why not the national journal, but is accredited and also reviewed using a blind reviewer rather than Scopus, because Scopus is hard. Yeah, it will take about 1 year or 2 years for the free Scopus index, but for the payment fee maybe we can 1 semester or 4 months. Yeah. Yes, your question here is our problem not only in your country but also in my country and other countries also. In Indonesia, fortunately, the master degree only publish their article in the national journal that are accredited not only IISSN but accredited nationally. As I showed you, there are 6 level: Sinta 1, Sinta 2, Sinta 3 until Sinta 6 here. Yes, thank you for your question. Yeah, this is a crucial thing that we have to discuss, and therefore my opinion, my suggestion, and my recommendation in my presentation is we have to have a collaboration for exchanging the articles so that we can also publish our students' thesis into article freely. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Juwari. Wow, it's very interesting. So this is all the concern, especially for the professional students, the graduate students, and of course the postgraduate students, and even the undergraduate students. Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Juwari, for that insightful.
My pleasure. Yes.
More? Okay. So we're checking on the chat box right at this time, and a virtual hand raised. Okay. So I guess none at this moment. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Dr. Juwari of Indonesia and English Department Faculty of Education, Universitas Nadiatul Ulama, Surabaya in Indonesia, on your discussion today on research and journal publication for global recognition. Thank you so much, Dr. Juwari. It's always a pleasure. We are very much pleased to welcome you back in this 5th International Multidisciplinary Research Conference, and it is always with sincere appreciation for you generously help us and becoming this International Research Conference a success. Thank you very much. And
thank you. Yes.
And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll give the certificate of appreciation and acknowledgement. The Philippine Association for Graduate Education of Region 11, and the Council of Deans for Graduate Education of Region 11, and the Rizal Memorial Colleges Incorporated Graduate School award the Certificate of Recognition to Dr. Juwari as our plenary speaker today during the 5th International Multidisciplinary Research Conference with the inclusive dates of April 20, 29, 30, 2022, with the theme Directionality of Research and Creative Works for Utilization through Virtual Oral Presentation and Referred Journal Publication amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. So all this signed by our international acclaimed speakers with the Institutional Research Director, Dr. Nelia Biaga, with the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Pablo F. Busquet, with the Vice President for the Academic Affairs, Dr. Lourdes C. Cabimtoy, and with the Rizal Memorial College's President, Dr. Evelyn Abellera Magno. Once again, thank you very much to Dr. Juwari of Indonesia. And we hope that our live audience today via Zoom online platform, 555 audience, will always have an inspiration setting their goals from all corners of the world to think about the future of publication.
Thank you very much, the host. Yeah, thank you very much. This is the second time. I'm glad to have a meeting with you for the second time. Thank you.
The pleasure is mine, Dr. Juwari, and thank you very much on that. Wow, thank you. So that's Dr. Juwari, our plenary speaker for, and at this time, ladies and gentlemen, the research presentation continues. Wow. So our research presentations are really very equipped, especially that